Hi, my name is Noah Dito, and today I'll be discussing virtual reality as a tool for education. So, I'd like to take a minute to think about our world today. So, think of our world today. With recent advances in technology, learning is closer to our fingertips than ever before. With relatively recent advances in technology, new forms of teaching and learning have arisen. Mobile applications such as laptops and smartphones have become prevalent items in our daily educational lives. And newer technologies are beginning to emerge, such as virtual reality. So, the problem. According to two researchers from the University of Gothenburg, the learning process can be difficult since it requires a lot of effort to learn, which is why students need motivation to learn. So, according to a 2015 study by the Pew Research Center, the United States ranks 24th in both reading and science. Additionally, math proficiency is currently at a standstill. 4th and 8th grade math proficiency is currently at a standstill. So, this leads me to my research question. Does or will virtual reality improve the learning process? And by the end of my presentation, I hope to prove to you that, in fact, virtual reality does improve the learning process significantly. But first, how does this relate to the stimulus material? So all the stimulus material present new perspectives on things and how they contribute to our understanding, much like virtual reality. So first, the extrasensory perception article talks about how the combination of virtual reality and sensor data contributes to an environment more in tune with total immersion. Secondly, in Alice Through the Looking Glass, Lewis Carroll depicts the enjoyment felt when a new perspective is sensed. And finally, the historian as participant talks about how eyewitness history is a crucial part of understanding historical events over time. So, even though this is a coincidence, Ivan Sutherland, the father of computer graphics, said that computer display will ultimately evolve to the point where you'll be Alice and you'll be going into the display where Alice walked. So I'll be going through three lenses today. Because virtual reality is such a broad topic, I only have time to go through three main lenses, which is the student lens, the historical lens, and the medical/scientific lens. So, first and foremost, virtual reality makes learning very exciting and fun. The ability to be immersed in an environment where your learning is applicable goes far beyond the mundane textbook. So, according to John T. Bell, a chemical engineering professor at the University of Michigan, virtual reality provides a special feeling that will persuade students to learn more about their subject. Furthermore, you can play games on virtual reality, which makes learning more fun and interactive. So, as learning gets reinforced as a fun experience, students will want to learn more about their subject, and they will ultimately become immersed with their subject. So, here's a study by two IT professionals, Mustafa Hussain and Carl Matterdal. Although the usability of virtual reality seems a little bit low, the effectiveness for... Okay, so they interviewed 25 students and they asked about their opinion of virtual reality and education. Although the students ranked usability a little bit low, the effectiveness was far more greater than non-VR tools. So, my second claim is that virtual reality gives students a better perspective on historical events. So, with the VR app, Unimmersive, a student can be immersed in certain historical time periods, whether that's boarding the Titanic, being a part of ancient Egypt, or just simply being a caveman in Stonehenge. So, I believe that since students can witness the atmospheres, they will ultimately get a better perspective of historical events because they'll have understanding of the atmosphere at the time and how that contributes to certain historical events. So, Chris Koslov, the director of the Virtual Reality / Augmented Reality Association, said that the more a student engages in real life engagement, the more the student will grow more accustomed to the subject and feel a connection to the subject matter. And ultimately, they'll be able to retain the subject matter better. So, finally, virtual reality lets students apply what they have learned. Mainly we see this in the medical sciences. Students can now test their skills for surgery before entering real-life surgery with the app also virtual reality. Ultimately, students will be able to practice their surgery skills without any risk involved because, after all, it's only virtual reality. So, now here's my solution. I propose that all schools should have virtual reality in their classrooms because it's ultimately a great tool for education and will change students' lives for the better. But there are some limitations. Most developing countries in the world won't have access to virtual reality tools because they're far more expensive and costly. And also there's a fear of technology because most traditional teachers won't be inclined to use virtual reality because it's not very aligned with certain traditional teaching concepts. And also schools in general might lose popularity because virtual reality can be used at home and kids might want to just learn from home using virtual reality. So here's my bibliography. That's it.
All right. Let me ask you a couple of questions. All right. So, how valid and reliable are your sources you use, and how do you know, and which ones didn't work?
I think my sources are very reliable because I look for people who had experience in the virtual reality business, and I went through apps that were heavily used and consumed by the public and had good ratings by the public.
Okay. Secondly, how does your conclusion respond to any of the other research and sources you examined?
I'd say this is kind of a hard question because virtual reality is such a new tool that it's not very commonplace in a lot of schools because my solution was that we should implement virtual reality in all schools. It doesn't really relate to my sources because virtual reality hasn't gone that far yet.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Noah.